Wholeness, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of We Meditate. My name's Ahmad Brown, and I will be walking alongside you in this journey as we go through various modes of spiritual knowledge, spiritual entertainment, historical backgrounds, and a host of other myriads of things that we essentially will talk about and grow with together. Now, if you're here for the first day, you may be wondering, what is We Meditate, and who is this guy that you're listening to? Well, my name's Ahmad, as I said before, and I'm a 30-year-old African-American male living in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm originally from Orlando, Florida, by way of heaven. And I would have to say my religious upbringing is that of Christian faith. I was raised a Baptist. However, I consider myself a free spirit or a free agent at this current moment. And so hopefully if you stay with us here during We Meditate, you will see how I got to the certain conclusions that I have in my journey to hopefully help you in your spiritual journey. You may ask, why am I doing this? One of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I've really felt an urge to want to finally share all of the things that I've learned. I've been in seminary for the past 4 years. I've essentially surrounded myself amongst spiritual people of multiple faiths, primarily Christian, but there's been Muslim people I've encountered, there's been Buddhist people I've encountered, 5%ers, even atheists. And in this particular environment, we've studied many subtle nuances of the Bible, you know, and seeing things that are maybe true, historically inaccurate, things that are myth, just a whole gambit of information that they say you don't want to know, which is why you don't go to seminary. However, I stand here today, or sit here today, to really let you know that you too can deal with the things that you don't want to know and still come out on the other side much better in tune with your own spiritual self. And if you are brave enough, you can shed away some things that you may have thought have been true your whole life and start walking into the trueness of how you know God or how you know the universe to be. So I'm actually here for you, and I want to walk alongside you in a journey as we all learn to look inside for God as opposed to looking for God outside in the heavens. So someone may ask, why should I even be listening to this guy? Like, who makes, him an expert? Who makes me an expert? Well, I have to say, I became well versed in spirituality, essentially just from my whole life. I was, like I said, raised in the church, so I've been well versed in the Bible, or well versed with Christian mythology, Christian spirituality, things of that nature. However, in 2010, I started to have some very extreme spiritual experiences that essentially my Christian family could not explain. Nothing against them, of course, but I was having some very intense visions and experiences and messages from what seemed like entities, that were outside of the Christian thought, or things that would be negative or malevolent. And not having any answers as to what was really going on with me, I ultimately came to seminary because I really wanted to know what was going on with me, what type of spiritual growth I was having, why was I seeing such visions, or why was I having such a change of heart of what I believed in. And I knew seminary could provide a lot of those answers, and they did. And interestingly enough, seminary helped me deal with some of the conflicting things between esoteric thought and exoteric thought. Now, you may not understand what those two things are, but just for a crash course, exoteric thought is the belief that God is outside in the heavens. And heaven or hell is a place that you go as an eternal destination that is outside of your body. However, esoteric thought reveals that God or the universe is actually inside of your body. And all of the mythological figures that we call heaven, mythological places that we call heaven or hell, are things like angels and demons and different spiritual waves of energy and flows. They're actually certain aspects of our own body. From my studies, there's been clear conflict between the spiritual modes of thought, and unfortunately, esoteric thought has been suppressed in our modern Western culture, and it has been deemed deviant. However, I stand here to show you that that simply is just not true. And I want to help bridge the gap for some people who may have questions, and for people who may think that studying esoteric is going to be conflicting with their, Christianity or their Muslim or their Judaism. However, I am here to say that you can have a very good synthesis of esoteric and exoteric understanding of God so that you can have a better understanding of yourself. So what can weMEDITATE do for you? Well, weMEDITATE is a page that I created that is at the current moment primarily a meditations page. The meditations on weMEDITATE, subscribe on YouTube, is full of binaural beats. Now you may ask, what are binaural beats? Well, binaural beats are actually wave sound combinations of vibrations that essentially help you in meditation. Now if you were to listen to a binaural beat for the first time, you may be a little jarred or a little alarmed, you know, saying like, what the heck am I listening to? Because it may sound like organized chaos or some form of static. However, if you find a binaural beats video on YouTube with a very good explanation that tells you what the particular wavelength of energy it is that the music is trying to share with you, you could actually focus your internal spiritual energy on a certain aspect of your internal body and help to heal that particular aspect of your body. Now, this particular healing of an aspect of your body that I'm referring to is actually what's called a chakra. Now, I know that chakras are pretty much coming like super popular now, and everybody's all concerned with them, and it's been dubbed a new age type of thought, and a lot of people in traditional understandings of religion kind of shy away from it because they think it's a foreign aberration. However, chakras are actually very, very ancient. They essentially were understood in Africa from like the Dogon tribe, which is one of the original African tribes that shared spirituality and formalized religion, and it was mastered in the Middle East via the Sanskrit religion. And just a quick crash course, chakras are the actual spiritual energetic centers of our body. These particular aspects of our body literally connect to the endocrine glands that emit our bodily emotions. So if you've ever felt anger or sadness, that is somewhere from a chakra that is literally sending that emotion through your bloodstream. If you've ever had elation and joy, that is also coming from a particular chakra that is literally sending a secretion into your bloodstream. And so essentially, chakra understanding helps bring home your spiritual self, knowing that your spiritual body literally affects your emotions. And if your emotions are affected, your thoughts are affected. And if your thoughts are affected, that means your behavior is affected. So essentially with binaural beats and how it affects your chakras, it's designed to share with you a particular sound wave vibration that matches the sound wave vibration of a chakra or an emotional state. And the particular music helps you balance this emotional state. And also, it also helps you balance whatever bodily organs are around that chakra. Primary example is green for your heart chakra. The heart chakra is actually one of the most important ones because it is the balancing heart chakra for all of your body. Again, this is a crash course. I will do an explicit lesson on chakra so you have better versed. But essentially the heart chakra deals with your respiratory system. And so we're talking about your lungs, your heart, and your primary arteries that send blood throughout your entire body. And so this heart chakra helps affect your ability to breathe and transmit blood throughout your system, but on an emotional side, it helps you feel love. And with that balancing agent affects how you have primary emotional balance, whether it be positive, negative, fearful, or flightful, things of that nature. And so weMEDITATE is designed for you to one, know where your chakras are, because if you ever listen to a binaural beats vibrational video, you could literally feel this particular chakra being spoken to, for instance, by the beats of the music, and you can actually feel it inside of your body. And so this form of spirituality, esoteric spirituality, is designed for you to have a much, much more intimate connection with what is really going on with your body. Because your body is just as sacred as your spirit, and your spirit is just as sacred as the collective soul. And so with weMEDITATE, we do not want to continue with the separation of body and spirit. You know, like I said, being raised Christian, I always was a part of that flesh versus spirit dichotomy, or that flesh versus spirit separation, saying that there's nothing good with the flesh, or the spirit is always against the flesh. However, with esoteric understanding, you can begin to heal your flesh so that your spirit and your flesh finally become one, and you become a master of your own destiny. And who doesn't want that? So what's next for weMEDITATE? With weMEDITATE, we're going to be kind of all over the place, but around one central thing: helping you unearth or uncover or unveil the God that is within you. And I will be doing that through a series of book reflections, reflections of my own personal encounters from the past, or things that I may have encountered during the day that had these, the collective spirit speak to me saying, you should focus on something of that nature. Reactions to worldly events, and actually answers to whatever questions that you may have. So again, I want all of you to come alongside me in this journey as we grow in knowledge, as we grow in community, and as we grow in the spirit together. And so I am again here for you. My name's Ahmad Brown, and this is weMEDITATE.